When you emailed me, you said, well, I don't know really much about lead.
Well, I actually have followed it to a certain extent, including the decades of corporate cover-up and government complicity, which was really criminal. I mean, well, I'm sure you know, but they knew right away that it was poisonous, and through lobbying and government corruption, they just keep it quiet. And it's kind of striking to see how little understanding there is. We saw some graphic examples of that, just personal experiences. So, for example, about 25 years ago, we had to get our house repainted. And there's a local guy who we hired to paint the house. And he told us that he had been a contractor, but he had to give up his business because of these EPA bureaucrats who were trying to convince to interfere with the painting business and telling them they can't use lead paint, although he knew it was perfectly safe. He gave us some crazy arguments about why it was safe. So that's part of what feeds into the Tea Party style small businessmen opposition to government regulation. Why are these guys poking into our businesses? We know what we're doing. They don't know. They're just a bunch of Harvard graduates in the EPA, and they make up all these stories about environmental problems, which just interferes with our ability to do anything. That's a very significant. It's part of the Republican. It's part of the mass base of the Republican Party now, which is why they're trying hard, in fact, and succeeding to an extent to tear down regulations introduced in the Nixon years.
Did you ever get your children tested for lead? Did your pediatrician ever check or suggest that?
Never suggested it. And that was, well, I guess by that time our kids may have been grown up and in college already. And in the earlier years, it just never came up, But we always were living in houses that had lead paint.